Hieroglyphics? Cool, I can bring my online Russian Tamagotchi. I'm not so sure I'd want any moose juice. Cool, they have ingredients for baking weeds? I don't know if I'll quite reach Stemple Pass today, but that's where I'll be crossing the Continental Divide. This is Will Buchanan reporting for the Walk for Liberty. It's day 82, July 4th, 2008, Independence Day. For America from Great Britain, that is. In honor of today, I'd like to talk about Independence Day. In particular, one beef I have with that movie was when two characters who were racing down a corridor to outrun a column of fire which was coming toward them, ducked into an open doorway in an attempt to escape the fire. And yet somehow the flames kept going right on past the still open doorway. I'm sorry to say that in real life, the flames would have come in and they would have been burned to a crisp. But more seriously, although I have discussed the subject in other episodes, it's something which I think bears talking about again, especially in light of today's date, and that is the concept of independence. I think many people have forgotten the meaning of Independence Day and what it represents. As Ian and Mark have mentioned on the national talk radio show Free Talk Live, for whatever reason, either through an evolutionary process or a deliberate one, people in the media now almost exclusively refer to today as the 4th of July. And thus, almost no one today calls the holiday by its actual name, Independence Day. Although I don't generally subscribe to the multitude of conspiracy theories which are floating around out there, it's easy to understand how people in positions of power and influence like the status quo, and therefore, if they could, would like to quell the thought of any further independence movements. Although the powers that be might like you to forget the meaning of Independence Day, I think it's very important that each person understand the concept of independence. Although people in government might like you to believe that you're dependent upon government, and that government is a necessary function of society, you are, in fact, an independent individual, and should be able to decide, if you so choose, to live without being involved with government. What other organization, besides government, forces you to interact with it? If you never want to interact with Coca-Cola, Walmart, Verizon, General Motors, or any other business, then you never have to set foot in one of their stores or purchase one of their products or services your entire life. However, unlike those organizations which do business on a voluntary basis, government demands that you interact with it. At the very least, you must pay their protection money, aka taxes, or else they might steal your private property or forcibly take away your liberty by throwing you in jail. So I can see why some people give in to government demands, because they're afraid of it and what it can do to them. But others don't even imagine that you could live without government. They might even see themselves as belonging to or being part of the nation or the government. However, living as a free individual and voluntarily interacting with others, if you so choose, that's the true meaning of independence. I always have fun meeting and talking to people and hearing their reactions to the walk. One couple I just met lives in New York City, but comes up to a cabin here in the mountains in Montana for a couple weeks at a time. Many people seem a bit taken off guard, since how often do you come across somebody in your everyday life who's walking across the country? That couple was very hospitable and even offered me a cold beer and some cake. There are little rivers of mud going down the road now. I wish I could have shown you the torrential downpour that I just walked through the last few minutes, but I didn't want to risk ruining my new camera because even the umbrella couldn't contain all the rain. It was also hailing earlier, which I couldn't show you at the time for similar reasons, but here's some of it still left in the bar ditch now. I walked just over 18 miles today. Here's my GPS position. And I'm currently at an elevation of around 5,900 feet, although I didn't quite make it to Stemple Pass. This is Will Buchanan for blog.walkforliberty.com, signing off. This is what I call a real hometown fireworks display. People shooting off their own fireworks right in the park. I was just mentioning to Brooke, why does the government even need to spend money on fireworks when all these people are willing to spend their own money to shoot off fireworks for the rest of the public?